Hello, quilters. Today I'm going to show you how to make a fun Christmas tree skirt and make some great Christmas ornaments. Hello and welcome to AccuQuilt. I'm Erica Bottger, AccuQuilt's creativity expert, and thank you for joining us here today. Miss Pam is off traveling. She'll be back next week, but I am joined by Miss Emily over here and the rest of the team in the studio. You've got a Christmas tree skirt behind you too, don't you?
I do. I love this one. I think this might be my favorite out of all of the patterns we have.
It's a hard choice because they are very cute.
They really are, and I even ordered my own tree skirt die, so I'm very excited to see what tips and tricks you can offer today.
Well, I am just checking right now to see where everybody's joining us from. So we've got, Deb's here from Maryland. Diana's roasting in Arizona. I hope you're staying inside.
Yeah.
Alicia from West Central Illinois. Colorado. Charlene, I hear it's even hot out in Colorado. My daughter's out there right now. Carol Jean is from Pennsylvania. We've got Liz from Birch Run, Michigan. My goodness, everybody. Oh, Newton, Iowa. Hello, Peggy. Welcome to the show, everybody. Well, right before the show, you saw some showcase projects. We want to take a look at some of those from the intro video. Look at this, Emily. Now, this is a tumbler flag that Pam Z has made. She shared this on Facebook. I love this.
Clever. I love how scrappy it is. It's just so fun and whimsical.
I do too. I do too. Wouldn't that be a great way to use up your scraps?
Oh, totally.
Next up, we've got Sue S. And Sue S. has made, this is our Sea to Shining Sea quilt that is made with the Go Storm at Sea die, block on board die. This is one of our free downloadable patterns. It is a stunner.
It really is.
That is gorgeous,
yeah,
Sue.
It really is.
Well, today is about Christmas. We're kind of finishing up Christmas in July. So we've got our picture of the day. And this is my family from this last Christmas. And our question for today is, what is your favorite Christmas holiday tradition? Or favorite holiday tradition, because maybe you celebrate a different one. So what is your favorite holiday tradition? This is a new one that we started last year. I embroidered matching t-shirts for the whole family, and we had our picture taken with them. So that's a new one. We've talked about some, I've heard some in the studio. Emily, you were talking about Christmas Eve dinner.
Oh yeah, my family always makes roast beef with Yorkshire pudding and green beans for dinner. It's fantastic. It's just my favorite part of the holiday.
We do the same thing actually on Christmas Day. We have the same menu.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
that is one of our favorites. So let us know in the comments wherever you are viewing the show. Type in your favorite holiday traditions. Now we are finishing up Christmas in July, as I said earlier. So today, since there is nobody here to stop me, I want to give away both of our new holiday dies. That's the Go Tree Skirt Wedge die and the Go Ornament Medley die. So be sure you always register on our website with your email for future events. That way you get reminder emails, you have a chance to win. It's a win-win. There you go. And you're never gonna miss an exciting tutorial that way. Miss Emily gets the honor of announcing the winner at the end of the show. All right, so before we go any further, I gotta tell you something. The Go Tree Skirt Wedge is really popular, and it is currently on back order. But I have spoken to Summer Santa. He assures me the elves are hard at work, and they are getting us more soon, so you can still go ahead. You can place an order for one, or check with your local AccuQuilt retailer and see if they still have one in stock for you. So today I'm going to show you a fast, easy way to cut out your tree skirt. Then we're going to cut some ornaments, and we're just going to have a little festive holiday fun, Emily.
Oh boy, oh boy.
All right. So here is our tree skirt wedge die. Okay, this is a 10 by 24 die board. So this one's going to work in your Go Big, or a studio cutter with the appropriate adapter. be sure you use a 10 by 24 mat with this. You don't want to try to piece together other mats. You're going to have areas that don't cut, and it's going to be a mess. So you want to lay out your fabric on this, and I'm going to show you how to use a cut and flip method to cut the shapes on this. Now, here's a little pro tip. Besides using the cut and flip method, remember you can cut up to 6 layers of 100% cotton in our cutters. So you can layer up and cut more. And you don't have to just make this 2 colors. I've got 2 colors. I've got a couple samples in 2 colors, but the one behind Emily has lots of colors. You can make it scrappy. You could use 3 colors, 4 colors, whatever your heart wants, you can make that. And it doesn't have to be for Christmas either, does it, Emily?
Oh, no.
We talked earlier about, when we launched this dye, we talked about how you could make it and how people have trees for all seasons.
Right.
Our own Lynn Gibney does that.
Yeah, I have a friend also that also did that as well, and she loved leaving it out, especially for Valentine's Day. She could use like ornaments and things like that with hearts.
So fun.
All that fun stuff, yeah.
Well, I've cut big width of fabric strips to cover my shape. I want to make sure I'm cutting off, not getting my salvage in it. And I'm just going to lay it on here. Going to grab my mat. Because as we always say, what happens without a mat?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Now, don't panic on me. I know I have fabric off to the side, and we've talked about this before. I'm just going to give this a nice little loose roll and turn this on and put this through. Is anybody jumped on and given us Christmas traditions yet, Emily?
Oh my gosh, so many fun Christmas traditions. Deirdre likes making cookies with her family.
Great one.
Elizabeth does breakfast with mom and dad. That's so sweet. And April says she loves putting up the nativity scenes both outside and inside. Do you do nativity scenes at your house?
My parents, for years, collected nativity scenes.
Really?
And in their house, they had a built-in bookcase that they set all these nativity scenes up in. I did not manage that this year, but yes, so we have lots. And they, bless their heart, you know how parents are. Okay, so here's a clue. Any of you younger people out there, you want to make your parents happy, make them little things. Make them things. Have your kids make their grandparents things. Because they had the little plaster of Paris nativity set that I made in Sunday school when I was in grade school, was still up on the bookcase in a place of honor. So
how sweet.
Just know that those things are cherished. Okay. Oop. I got a thread over here. So I had 2 fabrics. I took them off the bolt. It was with the fabric. And I cut 4 layers. That gave me 4 wedges right there. You need a total of 20 wedges to make your tree skirt. And it's going to make a 45-inch diameter tree skirt. So here's the trick to getting the most out of your fabric. We cut. Now we're going to flip.
Aha.
Aha, she said. We're going to go just over our shape. I'm going to take my mat.
So we have an interesting question coming in from Anna.
Okay, I'm going to put this through again.
Perfect.
So you tell me Anna's question while the Go Big does all the work for me.
Awesome. She's wondering if you can make different sizes of the tree skirt by cutting your strip shorter. So maybe
You probably could.
Huh. Probably have a
I think
wider-
you'd want to start in the center. You would have to. Here's the thing about this wedge. It is not flat on the end. It is curved. And that might, to get the perfect curve, that might involve either geometry or some thinking and some hard work on your part.
Yeah.
But you probably could make it work if you really tried.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question, Anna.
And then I've got more tree skirts, more wedges. So I'm going to cut this off, put this aside, and just that fast, I've already got 8. And if I had had my 6 layers, I'd already have 12.
Right.
I'd be almost done. I love that. Putting that aside. So many crafty things going on. Okay, so this is our target. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like when it's all together, and we've got all 20. I'll just unfurl this a little bit.
Gorgeous.
Sewn together. So let me show you. It's super simple. If you can sew a 1/4 inch seam, quilters, you've got this one down. You're going to take your wedges, and I like to line them up and sew from the inside to the outer edge.
Okay.
So you absolutely can use a couple of pins there if you want to. You also probably don't have to. Let's see if I can manage to make myself sew without pins. I'm also going to suggest that you go ahead and backstitch at both ends of the project.
Oh,
Just to secure that seam, because it's going to be really defeating if you get all the way, you get it all together and then you've got seams that are coming apart.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this could come together. This is such an easy weekend
Oh gosh, this
project,
comes
too.
together so slick.
You could probably make like at least 2 or 3 of them in a weekend or a day if you really wanted to.
Well, and we talked about how you could have them for different holidays. Lots of people have more than one Christmas tree. Maybe you have a fancy one in your living room that's all, coordinated and red and gold looking, and maybe you've got one in your family room that has, collected ornaments or whatever.
Yeah, my mom's dear friend, always hosted Christmas parties at her home, and she always had a traditional Christmas tree, but also a big, huge, white flocked Christmas tree with all of the sparkly ornaments you can imagine.
My grandmother always had a flock tree, and I just thought that was the strangest thing, and now I think it's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it's very different.
It is. It's a different look, and I remember a couple years, I think hers was pink.
Oh really?
Okay, this was the 60s.
I mean, I kind of love the sound of that, to be honest. I wonder if they could do a glitter Christmas tree flocking.
I think so. I think so, but the answer to that are those little silver tinsely ones.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
Or, if you're really lucky to get one of those ones from the 50s that was all the silver tinsel and had the lights on it. No, I'm not that old.
Well, my mother still has.
But I've seen and heard tell.
Oh yeah. Well, do you remember too how they used to use real lit candles in the Christmas trees, and they had
Yes.
special ornaments that had little. My mom actually has some from her grandmother or great grandmother that are meant to hold little candles.
I do too. So when so we talk about Christmas traditions. My dad was raised very German family, and so the adults set up the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve, and the kids did not see it until they got home from church, and they went in, and it was lit with real candles, always.
Wow.
So.
It's amazing.
So just that quick, I got 2 sections. I would go ahead, chain piece all of your little wedges together, and then you can go back and sew your sections together. Press your seams open or to the side. You can press them all one direction. That's going to be just fine. You're not going to have too much bulk. And you're going to be done in no time.
Love that.
So then you're ready to do the fun part, which is going to be decorating it. So here's the tree skirt. Now, here's a couple of other tree skirts to give you some inspiration, and we'll talk about some different materials that you can use too. So I was holding this one in the intro. I'm just going to undo half of it. This is fun, kind of whimsical. It's got puppy dogs and snowflakes, and it's in that kind of pink and turquoise palette, that kind of vintage palette. I love it. This is probably my favorite one.
That's gorgeous.
Then we've got Pam's favorite one. And her favorite one, let me undo this one.
Got that striped binding, just how she likes it.
Yes, it has, not only does it have striped binding, but if you look close, I'm going to hold it up for Greg, you can see that they used our Dresden plate. Melanie Call made all of these, I think, to make like a little Dresden around the inside. So it just was very scrappy. She used lots of scraps for this one. And I love the star quilting on it. Jen Strausser, I'm so sorry, Jen. Thank you. Brock is going to keep me on target. Okay. So here's another one of Jen's great quilts that she made for us. This is really fun fabric too, and this has kind of got that little vintagey feel to it.
I love how she used the star pattern in the quilting as well.
Yes, yes. So once you've sewn your circle, then it's time to really make that tree skirt your own. So here's some ideas, but you'll also want to decide if you want it quilted or not. These are all quilted. So you can see this is quilted. We've got fun backing. She's actually pieced together fabric for her backing for this because you need a big piece, right? So she's done that, which is great. You could also use wide backing so that you didn't have to piece and it was really easy to lay it out. You wouldn't have to quilt it, or you could create, just a typical quilting sandwich. These are put together just like a quilt. It's just that it's a great big circle. Exactly. So we've got our backing, our batting's in there, our top, it's quilted. Then it's put together. They all share one thing, and that is what?
Striped binding.
Bias stripe binding.
Yes, bias.
Now, it wouldn't have to be striped, okay. You can use something else. But you can quilt it however you want to, but you're going to need binding if you quilt it. So if you've used cotton, excuse me, you're going to want to cut bias binding. Now, we've had lots of shows and lots of demos on cutting that bias binding, including the show where we launched this die. So just refer back to those. You can find them on our website, Facebook, and our YouTube channel. You could also do something else that would be super slick and easy and use felt. You could use iron-on felt for the lining on top of your cotton and just bind it, or you could just use felt. You can get felt by the yard. It's very inexpensive. It doesn't fray. So then literally you're ready to decorate it.
That's gorgeous.
So here we've got we've got this big mountain of tree skirts. So now how are we going to decorate them? Well, of course we're going to use our Go Ornaments die, right?
Of course.
Okay. So this is our brand new Go Ornaments die. And it's got 3 different really unique and hard to cut, by the way, shapes by hand of these ornaments and all the little toppers. It's so cute. It's so fun. I just love this one. I was so excited for this to come out, and I've been dying. Okay, I think I need to make more room here, Emily.
April says that she thinks the red and green, those traditional colors that you used, would be beautiful with flat lock serge seams using a decorative or metallic thread.
Ooh. Oh, that is a great idea.
It really is.
That is a great idea. Do we have traditions to share?
We sure do, and we have a couple of questions as well. Oh,
okay.
Jeannie's favorite tradition is piling in a van and driving around to look at holiday decor.
Okay, that is fantastic. I love doing that.
It really is. And Donna just wants to clarify, Erica, how you lined up the fabric on the die, parallel to the edge of the die or parallel to the edge of the wedge?
I actually lined it up parallel to the edge of the wedge. You know what? It's pretty forgiving because we've got some bias. They're both curved on the ends. So, but I lined mine up with the shape.
Perfect.
I was trying to make the most of my fabric.
Love that. And Dawn wonders, can you use pre-quilted fabric?
You sure could, but 1 layer. Because when you're using pre-quilted fabric, you've already got 2 layers of cotton and your batting.
Right.
So that's the end of it. But that would be super slick. That would go really fast, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd go just...
That's almost like a quilt as you go. That's a step over and beyond the quilt as you go projects we did yesterday to have it already quilted for you. Wow.
Well, and speaking of quilt as you go, Pamela says I'm going to try and do a quilt as I go on her first tree skirt.
Oh, good idea. Yeah, you could very definitely do that with this. It would certainly lend itself to that.
It would.
Yeah. That's a great idea. I've never really done a lot with quilt as you go, but it's such a slick technique. Bringing in the June Taylor products has really opened my eyes to Quilt As You Go with their Quilt As You Go projects, so that's fun. All right, one of the questions we get, and Emily, you know because you see it all the time, is, can AccuQuilt help me use my scraps and stash? And the answer is?
Absolutely. My entire Morningstar quilt, in fact, is scrappy, using
Right.
I didn't buy a lick of fabric except for the background. And it was so much fun getting to be creative.
Yes.
And we have so many, especially with, you can go with scraps like that are, I mean, down to like a couple of inches.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with the 4-inch cubes, and we've got, like the Priscilla stripe is a great one for scraps.
Right.
I mean, all of our dyes just.
Oh, yes, you were contemplating that one earlier.
I sure was, yes. And, there really are, and it makes such a huge difference in busting those scraps.
It really does. It really does. So, and you know what? Pam and I also say to save your scraps of fused fabric. And I'm going to grab my little crafty basket here because, okay, we cut this yesterday. We cut some ornament tops the other day, but I saved it. I'm going to use it again today because it's a
Perfect.
scrap and I'm going to use it. So I'm going to lay that over here. Then I've got some other, and you know what the fun thing about this is? You can cut so many different fabrics, and I've got lots of fun things to cut here in my little bag of tricks.
Oh boy.
Here is some fused cotton, so I'm going to put that over this shape. Got that. I want to cut some sticky back felt for something else, for another project that I have in my quilting head. So I'm going to cut this. What else could we cut, Emily?
You could cut wool, you could cut denim.
Denim? You could cut denim. That's an interesting thought, to cut denim ornaments. Wouldn't that be fun?
You sure could. I mean, that would be actually kind of
Why
fun,
not?
like a
I'm
different
seeing a,
take. I know, right? You could use, I'm trying to think of what else. You could do like silk ornaments.
Oh, you could. So I've got some wool here. I've got some sticky back vinyl. I'm going to cut a piece of that off. I'm going to grab different scissors, though.
I know, the possibilities are just so many. It's,
Oh, wait, and I've got something else I'm going to cut, too.
oh boy.
It's
Oh,
a
I can't wait to see
surprise
what these
for you.
ornaments look like.
I keep scraps of all this kind of stuff over here. Okay, I'm going to put this through, and we're going to cut some more because we've got all kinds of fun things. Because you can't, I mean, ornaments are like popcorn. You don't make just one, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh my gosh, Erica, we just got the sweetest comment from Deb. She says, Emily, my daughter walked through the room, looked at the TV and said, oh, Emily's going to take Vanna White's job with the Wheel of Fortune behind her.
I love it. You know what? I kind of had that thought earlier, was that it did look a little bit like, that's so funny.
I love that.
Okay, here is our sticky back vinyl. And you know, everybody's decorating mugs and cups like this. How fun would that be? You could decorate some holiday cups.
Super cute.
That would be a fun little gift. We
love
cut, here's the one that we cut with the fusible on the back. Oh, here's the sticky back felt one, because I needed this one.
Right?
Here's our little tops. So this is so cute how these go on. I need the one that matches this one.
Absolutely. Yeah, these are such slick little ornaments.
Match up, I better lay it down.
I can't tell if I prefer the traditional, the new aged ornaments, or I think I prefer the traditional
The
ones.
traditional.
Yeah. They're just so unique and fun and whimsical. I just love them.
So many things. So I'm gonna cut some craft felt. You know, craft felt comes with glitter like already on it.
Yay.
Look at this. That is snazzy.
Oh boy.
Then let's see, what else have I got? I had some other, oh, and it also comes fused. And there's something else I was looking for.
Look at all those fun.
Okay, well, I don't see it. Darn.
Weird.
You can use all kinds of colors. I thought I had some cardstock. You could use cardstock. Now, before anybody thinks twice about that, this is special for Emily that I'm cutting this, by the way. Wait till you see. So cardstock how easy would this be to make gift tags for packages?
Yes.
And do you ever have enough gift tags?
Never.
Nobody ever has enough gift tags.
Never, yeah.
So make your own. Make your own.
I know my parents actually will use, they'll save gift tags from the year before.
Yeah?
If it's just the traditional, like, Merry Christmas, Emily from Mom and Dad, or from Mom and Dad, like, it's so cute. Oh my gosh,
Kind
Erica.
of sparkly. I'm going to give this one to Emily after the show because
Oh, yes,
it's
please.
sparkly.
Yes, please.
How about this sparkly blue fabric? Okay, are you dying?
I'm deceased.
Yeah, yeah. And here's I've got a little, it cut, I mean, how well did that cut? This is just a really thin fabric. And this would be, you could put this on top of some felt.
Oh, it's perfect.
Look how pretty that looks. That would really pop on something.
That
You
really
could glue that onto cardstock. You could put it on stockings, table runners. You can make a really elegant table runner with sparkly fabrics like that.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
gorgeous.
yeah. Oh, so many
Erica.
ideas.
You're spurring some ideas in my
I
head.
know, I know. Is everybody coming up with ideas for these?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
So you can do other fun things with them too. So you can put them on a tree skirt and applique them down. And we've got free downloadable embroidery for you. So here's our 3 stitches. Here's our motif stitch. Here's our satin stitch. Here's our blanket stitch. You could go back and embroider names on them. That would be fun. You could use them to make little napkin rings with people's names on them for a Christmas dinner table. You can decorate them with other shapes. Look.
Oh, it fits so beautifully.
That's the snowflake from the, gosh, I wonder, it's almost like we planned it that way. That's the snowflake from the Go Mitten die. And you know what? That is another thing to remember, that we now have lots of great dies that all will make great ornaments, like the mitten die, which coincidentally the snowflake also fits on. Aren't those fun? We've got the mini stocking, we've got the Go Holiday medley, we've got so many ideas. Now you can download all the patterns that we have for the tree skirts, for the ornaments. I've got some other ornaments as ornaments to show you though.
Boy.
These are really fun. Mary Ann Fontana made these. She put them in a little Christmassy box for us even.
Oh.
And this is enough glitter to make Emily's heart happy. So here we've got a little 3-dimensional one. She's used sticky back felt for these and stuck them together. The directions are all in that free downloadable pattern.
Okay, if that goes missing.
Here's one. Here's one with some braid and some gemstones on it and a little stuffing. She used cotton balls for the stuffing. It's all hot glue. These are no-sew projects. This is, again, like the felt, the sticky back felt, put together as a 3-dimensional. You can kind of see it from there.
I love the colors she used too, because she didn't necessarily do like.
Super fun.
Oh. Yeah,
Look at the lime green with all the gems.
Okay.
So these are just super fun, different ways. Again, these are great. You know what? If you need a project to keep little hands busy on Thanksgiving, get them busy making ornaments or tags.
Yes.
So let's take a look at how she put those 3 together, made that 3 together, shall we?
Great idea.
I think we have time. Do we have time, Brock? We have time.
I think I might have to pull a Lynn and take.
And which
this,
one are you
ornament.
taking?
You know.
Well, I told you can already have those.
Oh, you're so sweet, Erica. Thank you. Yeah, I have a little gold mini tabletop Christmas tree, since I'm in an apartment and don't have a spot for a tree, full size quite yet. But I've got my little tabletop gold one, and those sure would look great.
Oh, she's thinking. Okay, so the key with these is to not pull your paper backing all the way back.
Okay.
And just stick the edges together.
Oh, look how easy that is.
Yeah. So I just want to get it lined
love
up
this.
right.
You know, Marianne has a comment. She says you could cut cork ornaments and make a holiday purse.
You know, cork is a big material right now for making bags and things. It's super cool.
Really, it really, really is. And April says she wouldn't have even thought of the sticky back or HTV to use with these. She, you know, would worry that the adhesive wouldn't, you know, work quite with the dies. But as you can see,
You know what?
it
It's
just-
got a backing on it. It cuts just fine.
Look at this.
Your paper's gonna
beautifully.
kind of be your friend to help the pieces you don't want to stick together from not sticking together.
Right. Gosh, this is so cool.
There you go.
So cool.
How fun is that? And then just hold off on sticking that top part together if you can. Put in your little cord to hang it on your tree. That easy. It's going to be easier for you. You actually want to decorate these before you go to put them together. So decorate them, put all those fun gems and braids and rickrack and all on them when they're flat, and then you can put them together into those three-dimensional shapes.
Love that.
Do we have questions?
Well, actually, we've got a really sweet comment from Jenny. She says, every year we do an advent calendar for my kids. My son has a Star Wars one, and my daughter picks one that she likes, but my son always stays consistent with Star Wars. This year, Jenny is going to do a Star a Go Mittens Star a Go Mittens advent calendar with chocolate kisses in them.
Ooh, ooh.
That's a sweet idea.
Advent calendars are a great holiday tradition.
They really are.
We've got some great, we had a new pattern. We have a new pattern for an advent calendar quilt or wall hanging that has pockets. Oh, be sure and check that out. It uses the ornaments. It's so cute.
Oh yeah, and there's actually a Go Advent Calendar die bundle that we have available
There
on our
is.
website, so you can get all the things
There
you need to
is.
create that in one bundle.
I'm just laying things out because I can. Now, if you're wondering what to do about this little hole, I could take, I'm going to do this real quick. There's this little itty bitty teeny tiny little piece right up here on the die. You can barely see it. Greg can get in. There we go. So what are you going to do with that? If you're thinking that in your quilting head, well, the first thing I'm going to do is use my little 6x6 mat because I'm just cutting part of the die. You know you can do that, right? You can just cover the top of the die or whatever shape you want to cut with your mat.
Exactly.
Oh, this is going to forever have glitter on it.
I'm okay with that.
Ever glitter. Okay, so this cut out this little tiny green circle. And if you're thinking to yourself, why on earth? Look over here. I've got oh man, I'm glad I have nails. I'm trying to
We have
pull
some
this
more
off.
traditions while we're doing this.
Oh, it's sticky. Good. Okay, I got it off. So then it's laying on a green background so that I can cut that hole off. Oh, now stick. What did I do with it? It stuck to me. Oh, for the love.
All
There
right,
we
we
go.
almost need some tweezers.
I do need tweezers. I have tweezers by my sewing table. There, it gives the illusion of having a hole through it now
How cute.
because I cut that out of the green felt of the background. So it looks like there's a hole cut through it. And it just gives it that little extra bit of dimension, that extra little bit of pop, I think.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Oh yeah, it makes it look like almost 3D. So Carol has a question, Eric.
Okay.
She's wondering what width of binding we use to create our tree skirts.
So I used 2.5 inches and I cut it on the bias. And why do we cut it on the bias?
So that it can wrap around those curves.
It can wrap
real
around
easy.
those curves, that's right. So I used that and it worked really well. It worked really well. So what I did, let me grab a tree skirt, not disturb all the fun I'm having. Building. So I went all the way around mine. So I actually started and went around here, around the top, and then down the side, kept going around the outside till I got to the other side and came up and finished it off.
Cute.
That worked just fine for me. I did one where I did the top and left tails so that I could tie it. You could tie it behind the tree if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It also works better to have a tie if you're going to use it as a cape. It's been suggested. My
We've got
grandchildren thought it would make a fine cape.
Ah,
If your tree, like mine is back in the corner, I don't need anything to really close it or keep it closed. You don't have to do that, but you can.
yeah.
And then you can see here, what Jen did was she sewed her binding onto the front, flipped it onto the back, and machine finished it.
Gorgeous.
You could also sew it onto the back and flip it onto the front and machine finish it. But I would machine finish it. You know, I don't do that very often, but I did with this. But yeah, if you like to bind it 2 1/4, you can always bind it 2 1/4. It's not a problem. We have a die for that. You're all good. If you wanted to do 2 1/2, my standard is 2 1/2, and that's what I used.
Yeah. I agree. It's nice to have that little bit of extra room, wiggle room.
I like that extra little bit of wiggle room. So I can think of so many ideas to do with these and to use these ornaments to embellish so many projects, Christmas stockings, wall hangings, pillows. We've got great patterns, and we can hardly wait to see what all you come up with to do with your projects. So hopefully you will share them with us on all our social media. Be sure to use that hashtag AccuQuiltBuilt when you do that, so that way it's easier for us to find it. Do we have any traditions that we should talk about before we
Absolutely.
start to give things away?
Yes, I would love that. So Miss Andrea says that we have a white elephant gift exchange. Always good for some laughs.
Oh, that is so fun. That is such a fun thing to do.
I got a plunger and a white elephant gift one year.
Did you?
I did.
Yet useful in the right occasion, you know?
It was just
You don't need it till you need it, and then you really need it, right?
it was so weird. I was like 11 years old, Eric.
So I have a friend they do a thing called Santa's Sleigh, and the rule used to be, and I don't know if they've upped their dollar, but it used to be that no single item could cost more than like 25 cents. So they probably upped it, but you could get like, if you got like a box with 4 little votive candles in it, you'd take it apart and wrap each one separately. But they came up with so many unusual things. They would save their little hotel soaps and shampoos and pens and all these things. But the key was you had to, and they wrapped them all. And then they did this, you know, the round robin of picking these gifts.
Sure.
It's really the most fun. The more people you have with something like that, the more fun it was. But half of the fun, I think, was everybody collecting these things. And of course, if you had brought it, you knew what it was, so you knew not to pick that hotel hand sanitizer or whatever it was, because then that was free, right? So they were crazy about it. I don't think they ever went as far as like sugar packets from a restaurant, but I wouldn't have put it past them.
That's awesome.
What else have we got?
We have, Dawn says that she does an extended family cookie decorating fest. Very messy, but great memories.
Very messy, great memories. That is fun.
That's what it's all about.
Yes.
Carol says every year she puts together a Christmas Jeopardy game. One for the kids and the other for adults. And of course, there are prizes involved, so it's very competitive.
Oh, I like that. I got to think about that.
Girl,
That's
you're
a
having
fun one to
fun.
add.
I like that idea.
Yes.
I love that. And then, Gwen goes on a cruise with her family for Christmas.
Wow. Now that's a heck of a tradition.
I love
Wow.
that. Yeah, we've got so many fun ones. And
So many fun ones.
Missy agrees that advent calendars are her.
Advent calendars are great.
Yeah.
They're great.
Really are.
Well, Miss Emily, should we go ahead and announce our AccuQuilt Live winner?
I think we sure should, Derek.
remember-
Let's do it.
It's Christmas in July, and we're giving away 2 dies, right?
Absolutely. I love that. I'm so excited for the winner today. All right. I think it's time.
All right. Let us know, Emily.
If I could have a drum roll, please.
Oh, yes.
Our winner is Kim B. from Pendleton, Indiana.
Congratulations, Kim. All right, now Kim, remember that Goat Tree skirt dye is on back order right now, so be patient. Your dyes will be coming, both of them together, in a few weeks. All right, quilters, now as you know, we have added a plethora of new June Taylor products. I mentioned the Quilt As You Go earlier. They're now available on our website. Here's a quick look at one of those new products called the Cut and Press.
I'm Jill from June Taylor with my favorite tool in my quilter's toolbox, the cut and press. You can do all your rotary cutting on one side and all your pressing and squaring on the other. The cutting mat side features a hard surface mat with a texture on. That's going to prevent your blade from cutting into the mat, keeping your blades sharper longer. You'll notice that the markings for your inches is outside the cutting grid, so it's easy to line up your fabric and you don't have to lift it up to see where your rule markings are. When we flip it over, we have the pressing side. And this is great for general pressing, so you can just go ahead and as you're quilting, do your pressing like this. But it's also great for squaring. So many times people will cut their blocks to square them, but now you can actually lay your block right on the grid to square it up. You can also pin into this, so you can use it to square up your needlework or even your cross stitch.
Isn't that fun? And the thing I love about it, it has that like built-in handle up at the top.
Yes.
So it is perfect for you if you're going, if you like to go take classes, do quilt-alongs, do, you know, open sew, go off on retreats. It's perfect because it's got everything you need. It's right there. Just grab it and you can go. So I like having the pressing side and the cutting side because you don't want to have, you feel like a pack horse sometimes when you're going off to retreat, right? You don't want to have to carry all that along. So this month's die to try, remember we started the month with Summer Santa bringing us the Go Teapot die, and it has sold out. But you have a chance to vote to bring it back. You can go online and place your vote today. You can also maybe find one at your local retailer. Well, on behalf of everybody here, finishing up our Christmas in July celebration, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks so much for watching. To learn more about your quilting craft, be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for live events every Tuesday and Wednesday. You can check out the events page on the AccuQuilt website for more details on upcoming shows. And if you're looking for even more inspiration, visit our blog for exclusive tutorials filled with tips and tricks. And remember, at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time so you can quilt more.
Join Lynn, Pam, and I on Tuesday, August 1st at 12 noon Central Time as we slow down a bit and launch August's new die to try. Register on the events page for a chance to win. Now be sure to join us for next week's AccuQuilt Live as Pam and I start the AQS AccuQuilt Along Go Shoe Fly Spin Throw Quilt. It's a free pattern at AccuQuilt.com.